Low heart rate is a thing of the past. Let's discuss the truth. What's going on? Alex here. I'll be discussing your heart rate, your metabolic rate, and how that ties into your testosterone levels. Make sure you stay till the end because I'll be discussing the 4 steps on how you can optimize testosterone. Okay, so what is the obsession with a low heart rate? Individuals like marathon runners, just Olympic individuals in sports, they usually have a low heart rate. But just look at their physique. Do they look like someone you want to look like? And let me explain to you why they have a low heart rate. So they do so much training, they do so much endurance training specifically that their body adapts in a way to preserve energy. There's no way your body is smart at the end of the day. There's no way your body is going to maintain a high metabolism while you're running for hours on end. Hence why these individuals have very low heart rate, because their body is preserving that energy because it knows it's going to go for another 5-hour run the next day, you know? And then people look at these individuals that they have low heart rates and they think that having a low heart rate is going to be their peak of health. I looked at the heart rate of newborn healthy babies. So when a baby is born, their heart rate is 120 to 140. You can Google it. And the older they get, the slower the heart rate gets down to. So older, 100 to 120, then 80 to 100. But these days, most people's heart rate is between 40 to 60. And they have excess of body fat. They're cold hands and feet. They're constantly cold. And that's detrimental to your health. I want you to do one thing. Next time you feel at your best, I don't know, you're out with your friends, you're laughing, I don't know, you're listening to some good music, you're just at that peak, I don't know, you're motivated, you're driven, I highly recommend to check your heart rate. And I bet you it's going to be around, I don't know, 75 to 85, around the 80 range. Because that range is where your heart rate, that's when your body is performing at its peak. When I was scripting this actual video, when I was making ideas, I was in this flow state and I was like, let me check what my heart rate is. And it was bang on 86. And it made a lot of sense to me. It kind of proved what I'm talking about. So next thing I want you to do is the way you can check where you are when it comes to your testosterone and how it's corresponded. It's when your metabolic rate is high and you're producing heat, that's a state of abundance. Your body is in a wasteful metabolic state, meaning it uses its energy for heat, for producing luxurious hormones like testosterone, your hair growth, your beard growth, nails start growing faster, you recover quicker, and so on. And this is where you just feel at your peak. So the way you can check where you're at right now is when you wake up in the morning, check your heart rate, whatever it is, and then have your breakfast and check what's the difference. If the heart rate decreased, that means you're running on stress hormones, and that breakfast relax the stress response. So the ultimate goal is that when you wake up, you're in that 70 to 85 range. And then once you consume a meal, you keep staying in that range. So it keeps maintaining that heart rate. Okay, so what if you're in a low metabolic state? You realize that you have a low metabolism and you do understand that this ties into your testosterone levels. So for you to optimize your testosterone levels, you need to optimize your metabolic state. So the 4 steps are, the first thing is looking at your training style. Make sure that you're not doing endurance training, because for example, when I worked with boxers, for instance, they do a lot of cardiovascular activity, and when I checked their heart rate on a daily basis, it was really low in that 40 range. So the things that you would optimize in regards to that is keeping your carbohydrates high, B vitamins, using things like pineapple, because pineapples has been shown to maintain testosterone levels in times of stress. But the best thing to do is train properly, training, I don't know, 3 times a week, full body, just very powerful, explosive, 30 to 45 minutes, and focusing on the strength gains and activating as much muscle possible in the shortest period of time. When it comes to your cardio, using things like walking, because it's the best. Then number 2, make sure that you're actually feeding your body properly. You're not fasting and you're doing intermittent fasting, because intermittent fasting teaches your body to preserve energy and be in that low metabolic state. That's why when you start consuming your meals, when you're fasting, you have more energy, you feel better, and so on. So you don't want to be in a low metabolic state throughout the day. Yes, fasting can be used tactically for a short period amount of time if you're trying to cut body fat, but it's not optimal. Then number 3, using tactical supplementation to your advantage. So using things like B vitamins, caffeine, methylene blue, aspirin, and things like that. And then number 4, optimize your sleep, optimize your thyroid hormones, and overall optimize your environment. What I mean by environment is that you're not constantly in the dark, you're not constantly in the cold, because that can be detrimental. That's a stress to your body. Make sure it's constantly warm in your room during the day so you're not cold, and then during the night you're colder because your testicles, for instance, there's a reason why they sit in a sack away from your body, because they need to be colder than your body. And when you're warm at night, it can be detrimental to testosterone production. So that being said, hopefully you enjoyed this video and you got some value from this. And that being said, I'll see you in the next. Peace.